I'm Angie Thomas.
And we are founders of Rethink Dieting and haven't been in here a little while. And Angie said, thought we should say that. And I said, no, let's not say that. Then here I am saying it. Here I'm saying it, doing exactly what her idea was. But, we've been busy working with men and women who struggle with obesity. And just so you know, I mean, this broadcast really is just about giving you a little bit of hope and give you some strategies so that you can reach your ideal weight. And really the start of it, I kind of go back to our original story, and it's, for those that have heard this, just close your ears. You've heard it before, but this may be a little different take on it. But in 2017, I was 55 years old, and I stepped on the scale and I saw something I never thought I would ever see. And that was a reading on my scale that began with the number 3. I had reached 304 pounds. Now, if I made it to 299.9, I wouldn't be here today. I'd probably 6 feet under and staring at dandelion roots, as one of our clients loves to use that metaphor. But that was on March 2nd, 2017. Okay. And if you want to know how to take off 129 pounds in 260 days, this is where you start. Okay, maybe you don't have that much weight to lose. And I'm not saying you have to do it at that speed. I'm not saying that you have to do any of what I'm going to suggest. But the biggest piece of the equation was, why in the heck was I going to do it? Okay. I had struggled for decades. Angie, how many grilled chicken breasts did she make?
I wish I had a penny for each one.
Yeah, she would be a lottery winner. I mean, trying to help me. But the other thing too is Angie had her struggle of her own. She was carrying. She was gorgeous, just like she is now, but she had a few extra pounds on her, and about 63 to be exact. And it was baby weight for a baby that was 15 years old, and that was our last child, our youngest, our daughter. But when I stepped on the scale, what really began my journey, and this is what I want to talk to you guys about, is where do you start? Well, you start right. You start where you are, number one. But one of the biggest pieces of the equation is why you're doing it. Okay, so many people say, "Well, I want to get healthy. I want to get be able to wear thinner clothes. I want to be able," and all those things are true. But it's also, most of it's hogwash. Okay, we all know that morbidly obese people don't live as long statistically as people who are at a healthy weight range. Okay, and I mean that's just data. And so many people say, well, I can't do it. Well, that was me for years. I can't. I figured out 800 ways not to lose weight is what it amounted to. And what was interesting is, when the why was big enough, the how to showed up. And for us, it was a love story. I mean, for me, it was my wife, who I'd been married to at the time 31 years. Now we are approaching our 40th wedding anniversary in March. But it was the day after our 31st wedding anniversary in 2017. And when I saw that 304 pounds, the first thing that ran through my mind was, at the time I was in the life insurance business. I worked full time in what's called the senior market. That's people over the age of 65 typically. And I went into a lot of homes, thousands of homes over the years. I traveled all around and helped people with burial insurance, was primarily what I did. I also worked with Medicare products as well. And what I found was, standing there on the scale, I couldn't remember ever meeting a man that was more than 100 pounds overweight that was 65 years old. Now, I was 55 at the time. Okay. So what that meant for me was that I probably had 10 years or less to live if I didn't do something about my weight. Now that sounds okay, 10 years, yeah, all that. But here's what was really the catalyst for me. It's like we were just talking about. We were in with one of our masterminds that work with our clients, and we were talking about, Archimedes said, if you have a lever long enough and a place to set it, you can move the entire world. And so that gave me a lever. And what I thought about was my wife, Angie, who's sitting beside me, was very likely to be married to another man in her late 60s because I'd be dead. That was what ran through my mind. That was the catalyst right there. That was it. And so it gave me a reason to do it. Now, did I need to lose weight for my health? Yep. Did I need to lose weight to get in my skinny jeans? Yep. Did I need to look better? Yes. Did I need all the things that you typically hear? But those were never enough. But it was enough for me to think about, hey, some good looking guy, probably somebody who looked like Tom Cruise, just maybe a little taller, was going to be married to my wife and would be the father to my children because I was on my way to an early grave. I don't know what would have happened. Nobody knows. But that was what started the journey. That's what started it. And for Angie, it might have been a little different. And we won't go into a lot of detail of what we actually did at that moment. But I want you to get. So why did you do it? I mean, you hadn't been on the scale really for anybody and this
not
is
even at the doctor.
Not even the doctor. She went way for the doctor.
The nurses weren't happy to see me usually, which was rare anyway.
Yeah, she was quote healthy, and all. We were healthy fat people is what it amounted to. But Angie didn't believe anybody knew she gained weight. That was my belief for me. But I knew it was when I look back at those pictures of she and I mean, it's like. People looked at me and probably thought I weighed 500 pounds, but there was no shame in the weight. The shame was not doing something about it. But go ahead.
No, it was just that was it. But for me, I knew there was something in your eyes this time, and when you shared that with others, what you just shared. I mean, of course, I could never think of another relationship if something happened to you at any age, but
you might not have been, but the men would have been.
But I'm grateful that that's what you thought of to kick you in the butt and get you moving. Yeah. So we are here together, and I feel like many years back to me.
Back to your favorite subject. Back to your favorite subject. That's right.
I knew it was different this time because Lord knows we'd been on hundreds of diets in our 30 years of being together. And I wasn't going to be thought of as, oh, he's got such a cute wife. Wonder why she doesn't do anything because I wasn't going to be married to the hot, hunky husband.
Oh, yeah.
And me
that's how I get described a lot. Yeah.
And me still be carrying 63 pounds or 55 or whatever it could have been. But I went to the weight that I felt comfortable when we met. And that was what I felt like I was really created away.
But this is the thing we're saying to y'all. Okay, people ask all the time, where do you start? Well, first off, you got to get clear. Okay, number one, if you want to write this down, get clear on where you're going. Okay, for so many people, they say, well, I don't know what I should weigh, and the test we give people with that, and it folks always know. So if Jesus walked into your house with the version of yourself you were created to be at your current age, what does that version of you weigh? I will guarantee you that you know what it is. You might be afraid to say it out loud. Don't be. You might be afraid that it's unachievable. It isn't. I mean, we see this all the time. I mean, it's like I never forget Dave Butler, who's a client of ours. Dave's on his weight loss journey. He started at 420 pounds. He's down in the 260s. And I remember shortly his answer to me, if I remember correctly, that he wanted to reach. Dave's 5'8", and he wanted to reach, I think, 210 pounds was what he told me he wanted to be. And he once he got into our Rethink Dieting process, which we never tell you what to eat, by the way, because if we tell you what to eat, you're going to fall back on that as being the reason that it didn't work. So we want you to become an expert in you. So Dave was becoming an expert on himself. He was figuring it out, and he got this confidence, that what we call the watch me confidence, where if somebody says you're no way you're going to make that weight, you just answer watch me. Yeah, and that's what he was doing. And on one of our coaching calls, he asked Angie and I, he said, would it be okay if I changed my ideal weight to 175 pounds? And I said, I've just been waiting on you. And so sometimes it doesn't come to you clearly, but we get afraid to verbalize what your ideal weight. Decide on what your ideal weight is, what it really is, and I'm saying a healthy weight, a weight that I will guarantee you that your doctor is going to be happy that you get down the weight. But don't start any weight loss plan without checking with your doctor. I mean, that goes without saying. It's common sense. But I want to get clear on that is number one, and get clear on why you're doing it. And I knowing your why is so overused, and I hate to do that, but it really is true, because you've got to get leverage on yourself. That was leverage on me. That was one of the leverage mechanisms that prompted our weight loss journey. And it was interesting. I was always 260 days away from that. Angie was always 190 days away from that, but we felt like it was forever, because there was always a reason to do something else. There was always a reason. But here's the thing. Some of you out there are not going to wake up tomorrow. I don't know who it is. I'm not wishing that on anybody. You know, obesity, we can talk about how it kills people. You can say you're not obese, but look at the numbers. You might be, you might not be. But at the end of the day, God created you for something. And what I've found over and over again, I mean, it's just so interesting. It's like Kim, who's down 49 pounds. We were just with her on a call, and Kim's starting a women's ministry. Now, she's got a full-time job. She's got a family. She's starting a women's ministry. And so she's finding her thing through her weight loss journey. It's crazy. And if people always are asking us, how are you able to get people to lose all this weight without telling them how many jumping jacks to do and whether to eat broccoli or whatever? And do you have to change what you eat? Of course you do. Do you have to exercise? Well, if you're healthy, I mean, Rick, who's down 180 something pounds, who he walks with a walker, has fused vertebrae, is a heart attack survivor. He was what we call a unicorn, because Rick was 70 years old when he came to us, and it was almost 71, and he was still alive. And now he's down this morning. He's in the low 200s. I think he was 210 this morning. And so what's that, from 178 pounds down? And I'm not saying any of this to impress y'all. I'm saying it to impress upon you that it's possible. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what your body chemistry is. There's always a way. There's always a way. The thing that we want you to do is learn how not to quit, because we quit one step too short. Because somebody ordered a pizza, and nothing wrong with pizza. I believe Jesus made all food good. He just didn't say eat it all at once. And so, somebody, ordered ice cream. I've got a birthday. So what? I mean, understand that there's always a way, but have leverage on yourself. Get a lever long enough so that you won't quit. And we have a lot of different techniques in our program that we work with people on, so they have that lever. That's not the only one, but that's it. Know where you're going. Know what the destination. Get clear on it. And if you say to me that you want to be healthy, I want you to be healthy. Angie wants you to be healthy. We want you to live a long time. But at the end of the day, if that were not already enough, you'd already be at your ideal weight. It's not worked. It's not worked. If it's worked for you, great. If you're somebody that's losing weight right now, taking one of the GLP-1 weight loss drugs, understand this. You've got to get leverage too, because unless you're going to be taking those drugs forever. We actually have a affiliation with the medical team that actually offers weight loss drugs. We have nothing against that. There's nothing. I know people, believe that there's shame in there's no shame in the obesity. I want you to understand. There's no shame in it. The shame is not doing something about it. The shame is living with it and pretending like nobody knows. They know. The shame of it is letting your life be pulled away from you. I talk to people a lot who are, because we deal with a lot of folks. You don't have to be a Christian to work with Angie and me in our Rethink Dieting team. Yeah, but you're gonna hear some Jesus. If it offends you, you probably won't like us very much. But at the end of the day, you were created for something, and the shame is if you by your choices do not live out the purpose and calling on your life because of obesity, because there is no doubt that obesity will take people's life. Now, I can't predict how long you're going to live. Angie can't predict how long you're going to live, but I can tell you this: if I hadn't done something about it back in 2017. I would have been cycling. I think we cycled 23 miles this morning, something like that. It's nothing to brag. I'm not bragging to you, but I mean, we're doing things. I'll be 64 in what, a month. Angie's obviously clearly many years younger than me, but yeah, you like that, don't you? I know she, although we share similar ages, but anyway. But I'll be 64, and I probably would have been dead. I probably would have been dead if I hadn't done something. But I don't know that for a fact. I could have been a unicorn too. But this belief that it'll never happen to you, this belief that your family will be okay because you've got good life insurance. I'm glad you got good. I've got great life insurance too. But you're worth more than money. There's something there. There's somebody out in your future that God has planned for you to speak into their life. I don't know who it is. It never fails when people get on the weight loss journey with us. There's all these serendipitous things that start happening in their lives. I can't promise them. I'm not that smart. I'm not God. Angie's not God. But I do know this is that when you start doing when you start taking action in an area that you know you've got struggle. What I was going to say a minute ago, so many people that we talk to, dead set against debt, and I'm totally with you. I mean, debt's not recommended, but I want you to understand that your weight is a debt, and because debt is trading your future for something today, and for some of y'all right now, it's 8:52 p.m. on Eastern time. Some of y'all are sitting down to a bowl of ice cream like I used to every night, and nothing wrong with that. If that's your thing, or cereal or overeating, you've eaten a meal and you're drowning your emotions in your food because in the Christian circle that you run in, drinking's not a good thing, gambling's not a good thing. All these things that are socially unacceptable in the Christian community. Well, overeating is not socially unacceptable in the Christian community. We want to make it unacceptable because the enemy has been using food against us since the beginning of time. So understand this. Get really clear on why you're doing this. Get really clear that it's got to be done now. And get really clear on your outcome of where you're headed to, and you'll see magic happen in your life like never seen before. If you want more information about this, a couple of different things you can do. You can go to transformmyfuture.com/apply if you want to book a call with us. It's where there's no place to push a button right currently to buy Rethink Dieting. You have to go through what we call a breakthrough call, and somebody on our team, it might be Andrew, it might be somebody on our team like Jason or somebody else on the team, will hop on with you. But transformmyfuture.com/apply, where we're going to get really clear on your challenge with weight, and then we're going to get really clear, about what's been stopping you, how committed you are to solving your weight issue, and if we believe we can help. Again, that's transformmyfuture.com/apply, and somewhere on here I have everything I can't figure out. We've got new toys that are coming with our live streaming. So anyway, but transformmyfuture.com/apply, and be encouraged. It's possible. Learn how not to quit. Get some leverage on yourself. You'll have an amazing evening.
Thanks so much.
Thank you so much. God bless.